Tony, before I just see if there's any other questions, I always love asking you because your world moves so fast, and I know some of the conversations you're in right now. Is there anything you can share with us that is really exciting, that you're excited about and your friends are in this space are excited about, that is happening in the very near future, day by day, that makes this project super exciting for you?
I mean, there's every day things are coming across my plate that gets me more excited. Keen Tech, they're Zoom's largest vendor in the world. And them and their partners, they've got 5,000 B2B sales reps, business to business sales reps, and they want to take Zoom out of the primary spot for video conferencing solution, and they want to move our link in to the primary spot for the video conference solution. And so again, we'll have to scale up to be ready for that kind of influx of clients. But I mean, they've brought millions of customers to Zoom, and I believe with 1 million users, with that kind of revenue coming in consistently on a monthly basis, I can't imagine we couldn't defend, 5+ cents, maybe even up to 10 cents, not including some kind of potential crypto bump from speculative investors that come into the coin. But, we've got, you mentioned Napoleon Hill. So the CEO of the Napoleon Hill Foundation, I'm supposed to meet him, Dave Meltzer, either in Nashville. Yeah, so I did a call with Dave the other day. He loves the platform, loves what we're doing, wants to be a part of it. So I'm supposed to meet him. He's all over the world right now, but I'm meeting him either in, I think, Nashville, Atlanta, or Orlando, depending on my times and maybe if he's available. We're going to meet him and just grab lunch or a dinner and get him involved in what we're doing. And so there's, I live near Jake Paul here in Dorado, Puerto Rico. I've been over to his house, and he's been over to Wright's house and hung out with us and loves the platform, loves the program. I mean, again, because we're in beta, because we're not ready to just add millions of clients, like that, we'll launch the fully free version once we scale up. We're going to be very, very competitive. And I think it'll be a big problem for Zoom. But somebody like Jake Paul, one tweet from a guy like that, the guy's got billions of views, and his YouTube videos and stuff. So there's just so many influential people, extremely successful people, several billionaires that are very excited about our project. And so the good news, I think, for us that are part of the project is, if any one of these people gets on board and hits their home run, we all win. But the fun thing to think about is, what if all 50 of these amazing individuals hit their home runs, and who knows where we could be. And we have other projects. I bought the code for if this is the Zoom killer, I bought code for what I would call the TikTok killer. It's called Pixa. And so this is it'd be like a social selling app where, you can sell things, and, you got all kinds of stuff going on. If there's the gas.
Jake Paul's going to love it.
Yeah. So let's say they're selling, some kind of coffee or something, you can click, it's in beta, but imagine you'd see their coffee for sale, and you could just go to your wallet, your crypto wallet, and buy the coffee, and it would send them their tokens, and then you're checked out. And so, the TikTok killer, I think, is going to be very easy, because the question becomes, do you want all your data going to China? That's where TikTok's taking it and stealing all your data, and it's all in China. Or do you want to own and monetize your own data? And I think the answer to that question is going to be pretty simple. Everybody's going to want to own and monetize their own data. And so it'll live on the same chain. So as revenue from that platform comes in, all of it's going to go into the buy side pressure of the token. Now, if you had to put a market cap on Zoom's, it's easy. It's a publicly traded company, 22 to 25 billion, depending on the stock price of the day. TikTok, the value estimate of a market cap, I've seen anywhere from 200 billion to 400 billion. with a market cap on something like that. So much more revenue in that space than even the video conferencing space. And so again, I think the sky's the limit for the amount of communication blockchain projects we can bring onto the Rally chain. This is just the first mover. I certainly believe that there's other projects that all of us will have much more success from a wealth building standpoint than video conferencing. This is just an easy, low hanging fruit project to launch to the world, but we have much more lucrative projects that will layer onto this chain. And again, everyone that's involved in the chain, every node owner on the chain is going to benefit from any and every one of those projects as they come to fruition.
Yeah. And I mean, what I love the most about you in this space is like, there's no hype. It's like, buy it, don't buy it. It's happening with or without you. Do your thing, read the white paper, do your research, but you also don't have forever to get in on this. There is a limited supply. There's a limited supply of tokens. That's why, this is way better than cash, because it can't be inflated. So for me, I'm like, how fast do you think this is going to move? Like, how fast before, it's like, sorry guys, no more nodes. You missed out.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it really, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't control the market or anything like that. But what I can say is if a few of these people start hitting home runs as we come out of beta and we start adding millions of users onto this platform and driving hundreds of millions or billions of dollars through the token, I'm not saying there won't be opportunity, but certainly, I can buy Tesla stock today. I can buy Amazon stock today. I would have rather have bought it in the 90s, like it's just kind of common sense. If I can get in early before the masses have it hit, which you talked about earlier on the video conference, you want to get early before the masses adopt it. And that's really the upside that all of us have here today is we're early. Peter was asking about, his construction company that uses Teams. It depends on what they use. We are planning, our roadmap does create a competitor to Teams as well. There's certain bells and whistles that we don't have that Teams does, but we're building that. It's probably, phase 3 or 4, because that's a little stickier customer, the big enterprise Teams customer versus the Zoom customer, which Zoom is over 50% of the market. And so again, we're not necessarily attacking a Teams user. Now, I have people that have left Teams and come to us because their needs weren't that tied into Teams, and they could do that. I've had others where we're like, hey, listen, we'll circle back to you guys in 6 months when we're ready to rock. But I think the runway here, we're looking to really come into our own by the fall in the US, which will be September, October. And as we get into the winter and first quarter of next year, we want to be full force, bringing in as many clients as we can, as fast as we can. And so it is not this, 5-year, 10-year journey. This is like, hey, 8 to 12 months, we're off and running. Like this is, timing is really good for us right now. Everything's lining up. Our devs, we just hired 4 more devs, full-time devs into this project. And so we're moving as fast as we can. And I do think it will come out of nowhere. Like one of these folks that comes online and puts out the right tweet or the right YouTube video or whatever, and it starts to catch some viral growth, we won't be able to stop it, which that's a great thing. But again, if you're not involved prior to that happening, certainly there could be that fear of loss that I had to deal with the Gala Games project and me being on the sidelines, watching friends of mine make 40 million, 50 million, $4.3 billion and just watching it happen versus playing in the game and participating while it happened. I think at the end of the day, like I said, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you what the market will or won't do. What I can tell you is my focus is to build another billion-dollar company. And I've had a lot of success in doing that. And I don't say that to impress people. The difference between building a multi-million-dollar business and a billion-dollar business had nothing to do with work at all. I couldn't have worked harder building my accounting firm than I did building my restaurant delivery service. Like I worked as hard as I could. I don't really burn out, but I built a multi-million-dollar restaurant delivery business. To build a multi-billion-dollar accounting firm, it was the same amount of work. Had nothing to do with putting in more hours or putting in more time or working smarter and not harder. I was always working smart. I was creating systems. I was building systems that would work for me versus me working for the system. I was building big businesses that I could walk away from, and they still ran and actually grew after I stepped back. So it comes down to, I think, Ange, you said it earlier, it's solving that big problem. A billion-dollar company, and the difference between a billion-dollar company and a trillion-dollar company is the trillion-dollar company is solving a bigger problem. And sometimes those problems are not surface level problems. And what I mean by that is, I used to have a problem when I was a kid. If my mom dropped me off to play soccer with my friends or whatever, and then it started pouring down rain on us and we needed to leave early, and we were nowhere near anybody's house, and we were nowhere near a payphone, because there was no such thing as these when I was a kid. There was no cell phones. So you would start jogging to the nearest payphone. And again, that was life. This didn't exist, so you didn't know it was solving a problem. But let me tell you something. If you have an emergency and you need somebody to come pick you up, it's really nice to have this on you at all times. And so the smartphone solved the problem that to find out what everyone was doing in high school, like where the parties were going to be, what everybody was doing. We would drive around. We called it the L in Pratt, Kansas. It was this like this two highways. We would go down First Street and then Main Street. And there was a gas station we would loop around on Main Street and come back up, and we'd go on First Street and loop around Sonic, which is like a drive-in fast food place. And we'd loop around there, and people would pull out and park in Sonic, and you'd go, hey, what are you doing? Where are you guys going? What's happening tonight? And that's how you figured out what was going on Friday night, Saturday night. Now you just text your buddies. You get on, hey, what are you guys doing tonight? Hey, where's everybody going? So that's a massive solution to a problem that no one knew they really had, but it's just so easy, so much more convenient now that problem's been solved. And so blockchain is going to solve major problems, making the world bankable, eliminating voter fraud, eliminating rare diseases from the planet. There'll be no such thing as a rare disease, because all the health data, the AI would go, that's not a rare disease. We have 4,312 people in the database that have that exact same diagnosis. And actually 3,912 started this treatment procedure and have had amazing success. AI is recommending that you get with your current provider, your care provider, and share this data and information with them and see if they'll start you on that treatment procedure. So that is so valuable, like off the charts valuable. And so we're at the forefront of bringing that type of technology to the world. And so, you know, I think each and every one of us is at the right place at the right time. And I've put everything I've got into this, because these problems that we're going to be solving through this technology is much larger than any problem pretty much as the world has ever solved previously. You're talking about 1.3 quadrillion in movement. And so can we position ourselves in the middle of that? And if by accident, if you can position yourself in the right area at the right time, it's going to be very, very good for you, your family, maybe for generations to come.
Couple of quick questions. Do we know how many R-Link nodes have been sold to date?
I don't have the exact number. I can find out. Somewhere in the 20 to 30,000 range is
cool.
Is out. Yeah, it's I think closing in on 30,000.
And why has Rally decided to restrict the amount of nodes sold to 100,000, say, for instance?
We don't need much more computer power to run our meetings on chain. So I think it just comes down to use, right? Like, why have 1,000,000 nodes if you could only use 100,000? You know what I mean? Like, for us, it's about utility. It's about computer power and the ability to host meetings all throughout the world and host them on blockchain. And so, could that change down the road? Yeah. The community could vote if needed. If we were like, hey, we need 200,000 nodes because so many users, so many meetings, newer technology. We're doing hologram meetings now through the R-Link platform. And instead of just a 2D deal, it's like a 3D deal, like it's a hologram and I'm standing in your living room having this conversation. So, at the end of the day, I think the beauty of something like blockchain is the community steers the ship. And the community voted that hey, we'll do 100,000 nodes. And if something changes and the community needs more nodes, the community can vote and go, yeah, we need double the node count. But for now, I don't think our devs or any of us believe we need more than that. And so as long as it meets the utility need, that's the number. But again, if technology changes, if things changes, if we need more, the community will have another vote.
Can we talk a little bit about, let's go over to R-Link as a business on the blockchain. So you've showed us about the Rally blockchain side of things, but let's talk about R-Link. So when someone buys a node, where does that money go? How are we generating revenue? How does that revenue impact the node owner's opportunity?
To really, start to bring in customers that are not part of our community, just outside customers that are swiping their credit card, setting up their accounts and running their R-Link meetings. And when you can drive revenue through your project, it's never really ever been done in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space. Now, I think it's where the space is going, real companies using this technology and allowing decentralized ownership of that technology. And I look at it and go, okay, again, I can move the needle in that space. I can add users here. And if every dollar in revenue ends up going into the market to buy the token, that puts a lot of what I would call buy-side pressure on that token. And if there's not enough sellers at that particular price, well, the price goes up and it'll go up until it's hit. And so the user doesn't care. I don't know if that makes sense, but like when I buy and sell Bitcoin, I care about the price. And I'm long on Bitcoin. I think it's going to go up to $1 million or more, but I care about what the price is. But if I pay $10 on my credit card to get this software for a month, and to do that, you have to go buy $10 worth of tokens, and it does it seamlessly. I don't even need to know it's happening. I just swipe my credit card, and then $10 goes into the open market and says, I need to buy $10 worth of tokens. Now, if that token's a tenth of a penny, 10 cents, $1, or $10 per token, it doesn't matter to me. I'll get a tenth of a token as long as I get my platform. That's all I cared about. I paid $10, I got the platform. And so if that $10 buys 1,000 coins, 100 coins, 10 coins, it's no difference to me. It's the first time ever that you have that kind of buy-side pressure coming into the market where the price is irrelevant. It's the dollar amount that has to go into the market that's relevant. And so I look at it and say, imagine with Amazon.com, if Jeff Bezos, every time I bought something on Amazon, if Jeff Bezos required me to go buy Amazon stock and then use the stock to pay for my, new shoes that I bought on Amazon. They can't do that in a Web 2 environment, in a traditional market. That is exactly what we can do in a Web 3 environment. And we're setting up the wallet so eventually the user, right when they swipe their card, it automatically will send their money into the open market to buy those tokens. As we scale this project up, right now it does cost, if I have a $10 customer, it costs us around $5 to operate. At a $50 customer, it costs us around $25 to operate. Now at scale, beta is a lot more pricey when you're in a SaaS model for sure. At scale, we'll be able to operate on a $10 client, it'll cost about $1. A $30 client will cost about $2 to $3, and a $50 client will cost about $4 to $5. And as we really scale up, it's probably going to be closer to $1 for a client, no matter what level they're at. And as our devs and like our chief marketing officer and our CEO, a lot of these people that work with us, the community pays them with tokens. They don't want dollars. So as more of our employees take tokens, the margins get even better. And then it'll cost us literally nothing to run a customer, because the community nodes are mining tokens that then the tokens are given to the CEO, the CMO, the developers, the project leads and managers. And if they're accepting, magic internet money, that's where Zoom's going to have a huge problem with us. Very difficult to compete. Imagine you own Zoom and all of your employees, you have to pay them with Australian dollars or US dollars or yen or euros, depending on where they're at in the world. And we're paying all of our employees with magic internet money. And so it's very difficult to compete with a company that has 100% margin, because it's never been done before. But that's where we're heading. And that's the biggest lift, is really to fully decentralize operations. And we've figured it out. Like we're certainly, I don't know if we'll be the Googles or Amazons of Web3, but there's nobody ahead of us right now. And I don't know anybody even close. And so we're pretty excited about where we sit right now in the Web3 environment.
Love it. I love it. Hey, thanks again for your time. Super excited to keep hearing updates from you.